what are the signs that my ex is still hurting? In coaching sessions, I'm often asked questions by individuals who want to think like their ex, who want to understand where their ex is at so that they know when and how to approach their significant other. And many times, individuals are also so caught up with their own feelings, grief, negativity, and struggle that they completely stop thinking about what their ex is going through. And they get overwhelmed thinking about how difficult it is for them, forgetting that they're dealing with another human being who is also struggling after a breakup. And so I wanted to do this video to help you see the other side of the breakup recovery process and for you to understand that you're not the only one that is struggling through this. And in order to really take a deep dive, I wanted to talk about some of the signs that convey that your significant other is struggling. Some of them may seem very basic and straightforward, and some of them may surprise you. So, very often when an ex refuses to engage with you, doesn't respond, or completely blocks you, it is a clear sign that they are still struggling. They may be triggered by you, by talking to you, or talking about the past. And so they protect themselves by setting boundaries in order to make sure that you're not given that opportunity. Another sign that shows that an ex is still hurting is when they break down, whether it's via phone or in person or on social, where you can tell that they are being super emotional about the process of breakup recovery itself. And sometimes you aren't sure if this is a positive or a negative because you want to have an uplifting conversation with your significant other. You've watched enough video and you understand enough about our philosophy to know that it's about rebuilding a powerful, positive connection with your significant other. And so you don't want to dwell so much in these negative emotions, but it can be a good sign. It shows that your ex is not indifferent, and I would rather have them be sad or angry rather than completely oblivious and indifferent. Which leads me to the next sign. When an ex is very, very, very angry, overly bitter or resentful, it clearly shows that they're still hurting. And oftentimes, in these types of dynamics, it is probably best to give them space and not to poke the bear. Because ultimately, we want to rebuild positive interactions and not turn this into an argument or at every interaction having conflicts. It will not help to create a positive bond to do so. Just because your ex is showing signs that they are still hurting does not necessarily mean that you're going to get back together. It's about rebuilding trust. And it's about making sure that we are able to reconnect in a way that is sustainable, that is uplifting. And I want you to focus on those type of actions, not just on trying to stir up any sort of emotion within your ex. Focus on the things that you can control, not so much on what your ex says, does, or acts, but on habits and qualities that will enable your ex to see that you are a different person. Because more than how they feel, it's also about how they perceive you that will ultimately help to create a meaningful, deep connection. This process is not linear. The process of breakup recovery has its ups and downs. And I'm sure that you've experienced this roller coaster of emotions where you can feel completely overwhelmed or you can feel triggered in one moment and not know basically where to turn, how to cope, and you just simply cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. Your ex is going to go through similar ups and downs. I'm thinking about a lady that I coach in New York that I appreciate very dearly, who's been trying to figure out a way to get her ex to commit to her again. And this is a man who clearly loves her, but who's hurting tremendously because of his inability to commit. This man has a fear of commitment that is preventing him from committing to this woman the right way. And so he's doing all of the things that a man in love would do, showing her attention, caring for her, inviting her to his place, planning romantic outings, talking about a future together. But at the same time, every time that she tries to lay boundaries, every time that she tries to convey to him that they're more than just friends, he breaks down because of the pain that he feels linked to his inability to commit. He's afraid to commit and he's afraid to lose her. And so he sends mixed signals. He will say that he wants her to find someone to be happy and to move on. But as soon as he feels that she may be connecting with someone else, he acts jealous and insecure and very, very possessive. This man is hurting and he needs support too. He needs to be able to learn to cope with that fear of commitment and to develop certain tools and skills that will enable that relationship to progress. So, the feelings and emotions, whether positive or negative on their own, isn't always the key to the breakup recovery process. It is a very complex universe, and oftentimes it takes a coach or it takes a lot of experience to be able to know how to navigate certain obstacles or pitfalls. And that is why I have decided to offer free live trainings where I come on, I share insights, information, strategies, tools, latest research findings, as well as answer all your questions and really help you to tailor your breakup recovery process based on what you need at any given time. And I encourage you to sign up by clicking on the link below to see when the next free live training is, to make sure that you organize yourself, because it can be a game changer for you. It can really help you to get clarity and to discover powerful tools that will make a world of a difference, just like it did for this individual, Laura, who is well on her way now to be in a new and improved relationship with this man who loves her, who is hurting, and who simply needed a little support and a change of approach in order to realize what was at stake. Similarly, then Laura, you also can make a few changes to make sure that you dramatically increase your chances of reconnecting and of getting back together. But it starts with focusing on what you can control, making sure that you invest your time and put in effort in understanding what is the right approach for you, and then taking action to implement this day in and day out. If your ex is hurting, I know that you are hurting too. And oftentimes when two people are hurt, they end up hurting each other. So you really need to give yourself some grace. And you really need to give yourself time to process the negative emotions so that you don't act from a place of negativity or from a place of hurt or of desperation. Because that's when the biggest mistakes occur. And if your ex is hurt and you end up pressing the wrong buttons, it could really do some permanent damage to this process and really break trust even more than it already has been broken. So I really want to make sure that you also avoid common mistakes that people make at the time of a breakup. And that is why I've created a free guide that is also accessible below this video with the 10 mistakes to avoid during breakup recovery. Some of these things you are already doing, and it's okay. But I need you to be aware of them so that you can quickly stop making those mistakes in order to dramatically increase your chances of success. If you know your ex is still hurting, share in the comment section what you've seen so that others can learn from your experience. And as always, it is my commitment to you to answer the first 50 comments that will be in the comment section of this video. And for the others, for some of you who are committed to do what it takes to fight the good fight, I will answer your questions live during the next free live training. As always, thank you for your trust. Thank you for your support. Thank you for fighting the good fight, and see you very soon for more awesome insights and advice.